Hey guys, Paul with Team Fat Boys and Casey. What? How do you say your last name? I keep forgetting it.
Grzelak.
Grzelak. And we're going to be talking today about drones, the future, and what what's going to be going on. Kind of yeah, I can't even say that word. Evolving. You say it, Casey.
What I just say? What?
Evolving. There we go.
What's
And
going to be evolving with the drones?
yeah, there you go.
Um,
Big words.
well, instead of everybody flying remote control helicopters or airplanes, the new streamlined thing is the drones. Yep. Those are the new upcoming uh, tools for photographers, videographers, um, sportsmen, people using them for hunting, uh, monetary gain, which the FAA is really frowning upon. But it's the new fad in right now in like the home amateur videographers.
Right. I know. I've got my drone, and I chose to get a cheap one because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to keep one without crashing it. And there's a couple of my videos that Casey and a few of my friends seen, and was kind of laughing about. But that's the reason why I chose a cheaper drone, is because I was scared to put a lot of money into something that I might ultimately destroy until I got a little bit used to the controls. Which right here is my control panel, and just your basic everyday remote control.
Now, you've gone and spent what, $80 or something like that for yours?
54 with shipping and everything. Thanks.
Well, with with it doesn't matter if you're buying a $20 drone or a $1,400 Phantom 4. Controls are pretty much the same. The I believe it's Tyvek has the Typhoon out, which the controller has the built-in video screen and all that. I've got DJI Phantom 3, and my controller is a little bit more simpler than what yours is.
Yeah, it is big time.
I mean, the only difference is I have my video and my camera controls and my different automated flight functions go through my phone. You have an app that you can download that you have all of your controls basically right here in an app.
Wow.
It has the GPS map, and it shows you all your signal strength, your GPS strength, your RF strength from your controller to your actual drone, your Wi-Fi strength, your battery. It has all that.
That's cool.
So it's not a whole lot of difference.
So is that a delay time, or is that real time?
Real time. Everything is real time. There's no delay. I've flown it up to 500 meters away from me. I don't really want to go out of line of sight. I've flown it up to 500 meters, and they had no delay whatsoever. Now the higher priced Phantoms have what they're calling it's blue light technology, which actually streams real-time HD video from the drone camera right to either your phone, your smartphone or your tablet. It just depends on what you're using, which is really good. But right now I'm doing just fine without the blue light.
Well, let me ask you something, because my drone's not over a half a pound anyway.
Mhm.
So technically, theoretically, I didn't have to register it, but I did, because I may end up getting a bigger drone, and I do know that the ID number that they gave me, uh, whether I have one drone or 20 drones, it's not going to make any difference. I do have to put the ID number on the drone and whatnot. But is that still a requirement, Casey? I mean, there was a little little problem there for a while. I'm not
With
sure where they stand on that.
what I haven't been able to figure out is why they're regulating just the UAVs, which they're the unmanned aerial vehicle, is why they are requiring the drones to have the registration. That you do have to have the registration. If you get caught doing it, you do get fined, that's all being discussed and going through the courts and everything right now as far as being fined. But all that registration is giving you basically the higher guidelines that the FAA is requiring you to know, because the drones, with the distance and the height that they're flying, they can become dangerous. One, to the people below you, and two, to airplanes, helicopters above you. You couldn't imagine your drone being under half a pound, what kind of damage that could do to an actual jet if that thing got sucked into the intake of the jet engine. It could cause problems. Same with the helicopter, it could potentially cause the helicopter to crash, the airplane to crash. So you going and registering, you have to go through and read the guidelines and stuff, pay your $5. They're not going to charge any higher than $5. Hobbyists only have to do it every 3 years. So to be okay with the FAA and any of the other law enforcement that are going to decide that they want to stick their noses into flying the drones, into the drone world, I've lost my train of thought.
I got a couple things. Is number one, the next thing they're going to do is insurance. It's coming.
There already is.
One thing that that I would be curious to find, and I haven't found anything really on it, but with the FAA regulating all the rules and regs, that probably pretty well limits what police officers can do, as far as federal government rules. And I just find that.
You have to remember that the FAA is not a federal government entity. It's an administration. It's not. They don't have anything to do with the FAA. The FAA doesn't have anything to do with the federal government. They can put out guidelines, but they cannot go and make it a law. The lawmakers, the government, actually has to do that. They can't go and put out a law saying that you can only have purple drones, that you can only fly 5 feet above the ground.
Right.
They can't do that. That has to go through Congress and all the higher courts and stuff to be able to do that. They can't impose any fines. They can suggest and they can try to fine you for it, but they cannot impose and make it stick right now.
Right. All right. Let me shoot a little video here, or make a video, or play a video here real quick. Yeah, I get confused on that, but I'm trying to find the
Little snippet.
screen share. Well, it's not letting me share. Huh. It's not letting me share the screen there. Can you share it from your end?
Give me a second. Um,
It's, I thought I could, but it's not going to let me share squat.
Give me a second.
We'll have to start knocking the bugs out of some of these before we do a whole lot of videos. I normally don't have a problem with it, but
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, well, he's going to try to share that video real quick, and I'll be quiet so you can talk through it.
Okay. Well, it's not. Oh wow.
Well, I'll being that I can cut it out and then put the video in here.
Just give me a second here. It's the video player I was using didn't want to work with Google Hangouts.
Ba ba boom ba 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 ba. Yep, it ain't working for me. Usually I don't have a problem sharing anything.
All right. This video. Okay. It's not going to let me. It's not going to do it for some reason in the widescreen format. But this is it. This video, it's just basically a quickie of coming down from a 400-foot shot that I was doing of the area around my house. And then there, I'm just kind of looking at a stream. I was thinking about flying up. And this is just basically that same stream at 25 foot. Now my drone will shoot in 2.7K format. Yeah, 2.7K. So it's kind of in between the 1080p and 4K video.
How quick will that drone go as far as if you see where you are and you just hit it full blast?
It depends on if you have any tailwind or headwind. I think 30 miles an hour is the fastest.
That's quick.
And I've gone, I can actually, with the app that DJI has, it will give me, it actually logs the flight records.
Well, if does it have like an anti-crash if it detects that it's going down into the too quick down onto the terrain? Will it slow things down a little bit, or screwed on if it crashes?
If you don't have with the DJI the Phantom 3, there is no sensors on it. You've got sensors on the DJI. There's 3 versions of the Phantom 3s. You've got the standard, the Pro, and the Advanced. The Advanced has the sensors on the bottom. Okay, this right here is the standard. Okay, it has sensors on the bottom right here that you can set it to only fly at a certain altitude, and that determines what altitude you fly at. And I don't believe that it has something to where you won't crash it. Now the new DJI Phantom 4 does. It has forward-facing and bottom-facing sensors to where it'll avoid collision with anything. I'm not going to say it's going to avoid collision with tree branches, but with anything that has mass to it, it'll sense it and it'll maneuver its way around it.
Oh, that would be a pretty good option. I think you'd end up paying for that too, but I was curious. And that drone that you got, is that like a tilt and pan type camera? Or?
None of the drones except for the DJI 4, the Tyvek, and I'm not sure. I don't think that the 3DR drones have the Tyvek and the Phantom 4. They have a 4D gimbal, which the gimbal is this piece right here that holds the camera, which is right there, which holds it. Now I can't, you can see the distance that the camera actually will rotate. That's only to keep it steady to where the camera will be trained on one thing, and say a wind gust comes and tilts the drone itself, it'll keep that camera balanced and trained on what you want it to be.
Okay.
The newer ones do have the 360 rotating gimbals to where you can actually be flying forward and turn that camera 180 degrees or 360 degrees. Excuse me. But I do have a 90-degree angle on this one where I could face forward, the camera forward, and then I could turn the camera to where it faced directly down. And that's all controlled on the app itself. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not controlled on the app. It's controlled on my controller right here, where I can control the pitch of the camera.
Yeah, I like the way that deal is there that you put your camera in. Now, is that for like the iPhone and the other phones?
iOS and in the Android apps, yeah, the Android operating system, and the iOS for Apple, for the iPads, the iPhones. You can do what basically, I've got a Samsung Galaxy tab here that it will control it also.
It seems like there's a lot of stuff coming in with the other drones, and I think that I'm probably going to go ahead and gamble and get one when I come back from my trip. But
I would.
we have a sponsor, guys. If you're seeing this video on the TeamFatBoys.com website, over on the right hand, we've got a sponsor that does remote control boats for fishing and remote control planes, and he's got drones and stuff like that. So you might want to go check him out too. He's an all right stand-up guy. But is there anything else that you can think of, Casey, that we might want to hit?
If you're going to right now, until my recommendation, I have not. Okay, let's put it like this. For recreational use, it's awesome. For commercial use, it'll be awesome. For fishing, the practical uses of it for fishing will vary. The practical uses on it for hunting, I would imagine for hunting, it would probably be illegal. As they own like a spotter or something. I'm not sure. But for fishing, I'm not sure how, other than recording yourself fishing at a distance or at a certain elevation, what a drone would be able to do as far as helping you with the fishing aspect of it.
The fishing aspect is just strictly for the remote control boats he has.
Yeah. But no, if you're gonna use it, okay, you're gonna get a drone, you're gonna fly it, and you have your own podcast or your own vlog or video podcast. Be careful right now, because the FAA is trying to make it to where they're gonna fine people for monetizing their videos. You have to have a commercial license by their standards. You have to have a commercial license to be able to make money off of the images, the video, or the services that you provide with your drone. So
I just tell them it was out of a damn airplane or a helicopter, and they ain't got a no squat.
Well, still, when you do that, you have to have a commercial license to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if you're gonna get one, do the registration, because that's just basically registering yourself, that you know the guidelines. And if something happens to where you have a fly off and your drone just decides it's gonna say, okay, screw you, I'm out, and take off, and somebody finds it 5 miles away, they could actually call the FAA, get a hold of the FAA, and give them the number. I'm not going to say it's a tail number, because it's not a tail number. That registration number that they give you, that what is it, a 12-digit
yeah, it was pretty long
thing.
I etched it on my drone.
That's just to identify the owner of the drone, the user. It's like putting a dog tag on your dog.
Microchip.
That's basically all that is they'll be able to call, like, the police department. The police department will get a hold of the FAA when they see that there's a registration number, and then they'll be able to get the actual address, name and address of the owner of it.
Yeah, it's a 10-digit number, and you know what's funny? And I just noticed here in the middle of my number, it's got PREY.
Pray.
That is freaking cool.
Yeah, I haven't marked mine yet. I haven't put my registration number or anything on it yet. If I'm not sure why I haven't really actually done it, but I just know that I'm within standards. There was nothing that said that I had to have it on my drone, but I do have it. My drone is registered through DJI and FAA and DJI. They are intertwined. My flight log actually is logged. There's a couple different apps that you can get that I recommend you get for your phone for flying. One's called Hover, and what this app does, I'm not sure if it's available for Android or not, but I'm almost positive. It's called Hover. What it is it will give you your forecast. It'll give you your KP index, your visibility, how far you can see, your precipitation. It's good for it would be good for actual pilots too, but right now it's geared more towards drones. And it will actually give you the no-fly zones if there's a restricted area that you cannot fly. Like you're not supposed to fly within 5 miles of an airport. It'll give you an air map of all of your local airports and the no-fly zones. It's like you can't fly inside a national park.
Right.
Unless you've got prior permission from the park rangers, the park itself, any federal regulated national parks, of course, national parks can be federally regulated, but any national parks, you can't actually launch your drone from there.
Yeah, I know you can't be over people either. I've seen.
Well, it's not that you can't. It's all of the FAA stuff for the UAVs are a suggestion. There's no laws. You can't break any laws if there aren't any. There's no laws stating that you can't fly over a public place. There's no law stating that you can't fly over a certain area. The FAA actually has to make it a restricted zone for you to not be able to do that. Like with the Super Bowl, when they had the Super Bowl, the FAA actually made that a no-fly zone.
Yeah, they did that for anti-terrorism or something.
Well, that and that's a multi-billion-dollar venture going on there. But parades, they can suggest all day long that you don't fly over the parade. But guess what? There's no law saying that you can't fly over the parade. If the police try to stop you, say you can't fly over the parade, there's no law saying that you can't. They cannot prove it. They cannot make you, because they do not regulate that airspace. And they say, oh yeah, well, our airspace is up to 500 foot. I'm sorry, but no, it's not. National airspace starts at the top of a blade of grass.
I'll be down. Yeah, I was sitting there on my phone trying to download.
If you were to go and jump into the air, you could be considered a unidentified flying object.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we covered a lot. People, if you go fly a drone or a model airplane, I suggest that you read up on anything you can read up on, because if you don't, it can cause you problems. And
Also,
we was talking about earlier, somebody was fined $10,000 or something. What was that? What was that about again?
He did a video for the University of Virginia. Hired this guy to get video flying over the college, and the FAA didn't like it and tried to fine him 10 grand for doing it.
Did they succeed, or is that still going
No, They did not. They are right now. They're having a hold on. They're having a battle right now where what is it called when you oh geez, I'm having a brain fart.
I was doing that earlier. I was like,
I feel like an idiot.
I haven't been doing a lot of these videos since I sold Catfish Weekly, so I'm kind of like getting these interviews, and I'm stumbling a little bit, but I'll eventually get it back.
They're not petitioning, but they're the FAA is fighting the judgment that the judge gave, saying that they cannot fine somebody for something that is not a law.
So it's more or less a hearing.
Yeah, they're trying to. They have to petition the courts to. That's it, petition. But anyways, they have to petition the courts to go back and trying to go to Congress and make all these different rules and stuff. And that was back in 2014 when that actually started happening, and they're still fighting it.
Now you said there was a couple apps, phone apps.
Yes.
Now I just got into my phone here. I'm running iOS 9, I think now is where it's up to.
Mm-hmm.
But I downloaded that one for the iPhone, but I don't think you said what the other ones were. I thought you said one.
The other one is called B4, like the letter B, the number 4, the letter U, and the word fly. Before you fly. That's an actual app put out by the FAA that will give you any updated restrictions, no-fly zones, any news that you need to have. It'll tell you whether or not you're within 5 miles of an airport or not. It'll give you an actual air map. Let me see if I can. I wish there's a way I could share this screen, but this is what you'll see.
I have one of those apps too, but I can't remember what the name of it was.
It actually has a planner that if you're gonna fly, you can plan out your route of the areas that you're gonna fly. It has a list of temporary flight restrictions, a list of the national parks that you cannot fly in, and it gives you a list of your airports.
Yeah, the two that I had already downloaded, one was called Drone Buddy, DRONE, Buddy, BUDDY, and the other one I had was G as in golf, X as in X-ray, _UFO.
Now,
those are the two that I already had in there.
Those don't sound familiar, and I haven't heard about those. And I go through a lot of forums, a lot of the Facebook groups and pages for drone flight, and these the two that I mentioned, the hover and before you fly, are pretty much the most popular ones. And from what I've seen, the better to use for the flight itself. It's let me see. Yeah, the one that I would recommend that you have is probably going to be the before you fly. That's really good if you're going to a lot of different places. The hover one is really good for the gives you the KP index, and because the temperature, the wind, and of course the KP index all play a lot in your flight. The KP index messes with your GPS and your signal, actually, from the controller to the drone itself.
Well, what kind of gasoline do you put in it?
Um, you're
I haven't had a lot of sleep, so I'm kind of punchy.
uh-huh. But yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it gives you your wind speed, give the direction. It's all in real time also.
Well, I'm gonna buy another one, but this one here has been wrecked beyond repair. I think it's blown in so many trees and yeah.
Now, does it fly like a like one of those little
It
those little
flies like a
helicopters?
flies like a Volkswagen with wings. Just
Wow. So when you let up off of the controller, it just keeps going.
yeah,
It doesn't stop and hover.
yeah, pretty much.
That's the good thing about mine is when I'm full forward, full throttle forward, going hauling ass, I let go of that controller. That sumbitch stops and it hovers. It doesn't go anywhere until I push the button to go again.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Now it doesn't do any flips or twists or anything like that. It won't do barrel rolls. But I'll tell you what, if you want to get up to 400 foot, it'll get there quick.
Yeah, buddy. Okay.
But, I'm hoping to be able to get more video.
We're running. I'm running really long here, so
Okay.
I'm going to cut the video where we sit at. But guys, read up what you can read up on. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, and they will use that to their advantage if you don't know what you're talking about. So until next time, keep it safe.